Lab is equipped with 4 in-ground force platforms. The system is measuring the ground reaction force of the subject walking over them by using an internal strain gauge within the force plate. Forces and moments are captured in all 3 dimensions. In biomechanics terms, this would represent vertical, anterior, posterior, and medial lateral axes of force. So the motion capture cameras and the force platforms are synchronized during data collection, which is very important for some of the more advanced calculations that require both kinematic and kinetic data. We just compare it against healthy control data, and any sort of discrepancy is reason to theorize that some sort of neurological effects are occurring that might be delaying it or altering it in some sort of negative way. Once you collect ground reaction forces for a subject, how do you look at the change in them or something like that to determine if any effects are occurring? Typically, we'll look at a difference between the peak production at certain phases of the gate cycle or the step across the force plate, and that'll give us an idea of some discrepancies between the 2 populations. We'll always look at the change in force production in the context of when during the gate cycle the change in force is occurring. The gate cycle is basically looking at the profile of one step as it crosses the force plate. There are 3 main phases in a typical gate cycle. Those would be heel strike, mid stance, and toe off, and each of those can be affected differently or the same depending on what sort of neurological effects the subject has that's modifying their force production.